Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Conspiracies and Mysteries. And Troy, I bet you don't know this. Do you know that we're on episode 14?
I can't believe it.
Episode 14. And ladies and gentlemen, there's been a lot of you on our Facebook page wanting to talk about this very topic. Now, Troy, it's a plethora because we're not just talking aliens, we're not just talking UFOs, and we're not just talking Area 51. I think we're just going to try to cover a little bit of everything.
Yes.
And something unique tonight. We have a guest joining us.
Yeah, we do. The guy's name is Stephen Kraft. And I talked to him maybe a week ago, and he's so excited about showing this video and some of the things he knows about these UFO sightings. So we're going to bring him in here maybe after the first commercial.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm going to just check this real fast, Troy, because I don't see that sound bed moving over there. So let's make sure we got everything. We do, but I don't see this moving right here. So maybe Alec or Cindy might chime in with you and let us know if they can hear us. So if you can hear us or throw them a text, I see all the things are what they're supposed to be doing right here. One more time. Monitor and output. Yeah, it shows everything's there.
Cool.
All right, so we'll continue. How would you like to get started?
Well, I guess we could start with Area 51. Just for folks who don't know, Area 51 is in Nevada. It started in 1955 as a secret CIA testing site, codenamed Watertown, to develop and fly high-altitude U-2 spy plane. Now, if you hear U-2, you may remember the U-2 incident in Russia, Soviet Union rather, where Francis Gary Powers flew that over to take satellite photos. Not satellite, but just to take photos of Russia, Soviet Union, and they shot him down. And the United States denied that he was even there. And then they had the plane, and they had the proof, and they had the guy. And he served a little time over there. He came back. He survived getting shot down. But so this is one of the types of planes that they were in the business of trying to perfect. The unusual shape of the aircrafts, however, led to a surge in UFO sightings. They had testing for the A-12 Oxcart, which is a supersonic spy plane that was developed there. The N-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter was also developed there. And it was funny because these guys thought, the CIA thought that the fact that people were thinking that they were seeing UFOs actually worked in their favor, because it threw off the scent of Russia or whoever what we were actually doing. And so they would actually go as far as putting on these displays at night with their aircraft, and people thought that they were UFOs.
Well, I'm grinning because I was actually going to bring that up later in the show, so I'm glad you're bringing that up.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. That and then in 1989, a guy by the name of Bob Lazar came out.
Big name.
Yeah, he spoke about he claimed to be involved in reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. Claims that there has been alien involvement in human affairs for 10,000 years. Now, but that's what I read. But he was also involved in a Nevada prostitution ring, and he's also been denounced by some UFO people. So
Troy went down the rabbit hole a little further than I did. I didn't know that, but when you brought his name up, they had a second whistleblower that came up, and
I
I
guess
don't have his name, but it's right after
well,
that.
is it George Knapp,
No,
John Lear, Milton William Cooper?
no, but what the big talk was, they would talk about how they would get bust in from 3 hours away, and that bus would drop you off in 2 locations. One was to drop you off for the UFO or the object for them to do the reverse engineering, and then the other one. Have you heard about J-Rod?
No, I have not.
So J-Rod, we're going back to, so Roswell was what, 47, 48?
Roswell was 47, I
So
believe.
53, I think it was in 53 when they had another crash. They were able to capture the unidentified
Now,
flying
was this at
object.
Roswell or was it at Area 51?
This is at Area 51.
So there was a crash at Area 51?
No. It was several hours away. I think 3 hours away.
I see. Okay.
But more to Area 51, and again, we'll go back on the topic. You're absolutely right. The distraction of what really is going on.
Yeah.
But they named this alien, folks. I don't know what you want us to use the topics, but they gave him the name J-Rod. And J-Rod was the only surviving ET of the UFO. So when you keep hearing about this reverse engineering, that was J-Rod
I see.
trying to teach them the technology. Now here's where it gets confusing. Here's the conspiracies. Sometimes, hey, some of us are really into this. Some of those are wackos out there. But, I was saving it for later in the show, but I'm just going to cut to the chase. Later, you and I are going to play a video about one of the most infamous videos, how the unidentified flying object hits the water at high speed, comes out at 2. So let me ask you this. With all the whistleblowers, phones, cameras, technology, and everything in the world today, are you telling me that's the best? So
that argument's been made with so many videos over the years with these alien
right, so
UFOs.
even though we're on YouTube, how many times you listen to someone else's on this topic and it's alleged?
Mm-hmm.
So there's really never any confirmation.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I know they started, it took years, about letting the American people know the truth. And I think it was, 2013?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
When they officially confirmed Area 51. And folks, here's another thing that I want to bring up. When you hear about Area 51, as Americans, that's what we resonate to, right? But did you know in other countries, I don't know what the names of them, but Russia, there's so many different third world countries that also have these similar facilities. Are we familiar with that?
You mean where they test spy planes and that sort of thing?
Well, that's what we would like to believe are doing, but there's conspiracies and theories that these other third world countries also have UFOs or aliens that they learn from.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so for me, when I think of Area 51, I just think of
Well,
America.
it would suck to be an alien and instead of crashing in the United States where, they've got all these amenities and you wind up crashing in Uganda, and there's no amenities. There's guys with spears wanting to kill you. That would kind of suck if you were an alien. You think they'd have GPS, right?
Well, you would think. that goes back to the AI technology, right? But I do want to touch base on what you brought up because I think that's very valid. So when I was telling you, watching other people's UFOs, even when I talk to my AI app, so many times they use the word alleged or in theory.
Mm-hmm.
No one's actually ever confirming it. But did you take a moment to pause like Troy said? If you're down that rabbit hole and the government's one step ahead of you, why not throw out some lights or a drone and just get you thinking?
Right.
Because the reality from what I was reading, we might be frustrated as citizens, but the government is protecting. Now, this isn't just America. It's like the race to the moon. The first person to the moon, it's bragging rights, it's money,
Right.
It's global, right? So everything that they're doing in Area 51, if there truly is UFOs, if there truly is aliens, they're trying to learn the technology first. We don't want to put it on blast
Right.
for one of our competitors
Right.
to collab. Again, how many movies do we watch in Hollywood
I know.
where you get that big bomb and whoever has the most money and gets the big bomb is controlling them?
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. I know that just going back about a year ago when I was reading about the atom bomb. Truman had to tell the Soviet Union that, hey, listen, we've got this thing that's gonna create big waves for you. I mean, we've got a bomb that you would not believe. But little did Truman know that at the time, the Russians had infiltrated our government, and within 2 months, they had the technology also.
Yeah.
So there's probably Area 51 probably is compromised.
They say it is the number one most secure place.
Yeah, and it's probably compromised. I mean, they it's. I don't know. We never are going to know really. And then even let's say you did know. Let's just say aliens came down and said, okay, this is the real deal and whatever. I think there's a lot of people that would go back into their house and pretend it didn't happen. I mean, because it's too big we've been chewing on this thing like a great ear of corn for a lot of years. Like, this is really good stuff. I don't think people want to turn loose of the fantasy. I don't know if they want the truth to be told, maybe. I mean, I know we're acting like it, but you remember, imagine how big we would have to think this world is if there were visitors that have been in touch with us for years,
Well, it was something you said earlier. People that don't want to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
Say you're working in the military and you're knocking down 6 figures and you got a family to feed, you got your mortgage, you got your different things. Well, if you whistleblow, you have the opportunity to lose your job and lose everything. So, I don't want to get all religion on us here, but selling our soul
a lot of these
for
guys,
the finances.
A lot of these guys that I looked into that were affiliated with, the armed forces, they were discredited.
Yes.
It's just amazing how badly they were discredited.
And it's crazy because some of these people have worked at Area 51 for over 2 decades. One guy, and I'm terrible with names, one guy, the most interesting clip that I ever watched. Now again, do your own due diligence with what I'm about to share with you, because who's to say that I wasn't watching an AI clip? So this guy recorded himself to talk about what he's seen, but he didn't want the video found until after he was deceased.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So I watched the video.
Did you?
And he flat out says, hey, if you think it, believe it, because I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But purposely didn't want that video revealed until after he was deceased.
Well, I guess the bottom line is you got to figure out, is this stuff real? And I think it is, but also like we talked in the car coming over here, there was Elvis, right? And then there was Elvis impersonators, and both exist, but there was only one that was real and everyone else is fake, but they both exist, or did exist. Elvis is dead, but I'm just saying, you just never know what the evidence. I guess what I'm getting at is you never know where it's going to take you. But I think a lot of this stuff is stuff we just want to hear and we just feed off of. And I don't know if it's almost like more fun to believe that it's a mystery. And then in the middle of that, while we're distracted with eating popcorn and watching the show, these other very real things are going by, And so this is interesting in this exploration of things. I wanted to talk to you about a couple people that you may have heard of. You ever heard of a guy named Bud Hopkins?
I think I've come across some of that research.
Now we're going back to the 80s. Okay, I was in college, and Bud Hopkins, I had read his book, and I had also read a book by Whitley Strieber. The Whitley Strieber book was Communion. I think there was a movie made, and it kind of followed the book a little bit. But I didn't pick back up the book again. I don't know where you could even find it. I guess a library or something. But
not on Google.
No, not on Google. But this guy was kind of an interesting guy. He went on coast to coast a lot during the 90s, and I don't know if I found him to be believable because it seemed like he was still milking this incident that happened in his book. And what I remember in his book was he had some friends over in his cabin in I think it was upstate New York.
Hey, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Monticello.
did you get an invite?
No.
No. Okay. Well, anyway, he had some people there, and one night he had an encounter with these aliens that had somehow gotten into his house. Okay, and they were scurrying all over the place, and the people woke up. They were freaked out, screaming and so forth. And the next morning, people barely even talked about it. And he thought that was strange, that they barely even broached the subject. Okay?
Sure, especially at the coffee shop.
Sometime later, he contended that there was an owl that was there watching them. Okay, now, you know, it sounds crazy, but they're putting stuff on birds now. You know, technology on birds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I'm not saying that this is legit. I'm just saying that you know this bird thing I think was also picked up in a couple other stories that I've read. So that was the main thing about his book, and it scared me. Yeah, I mean, I was I have
the truth. If there's truth, it can be very scary.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think about Hollywood. So I'm going to do the craziest thing here. I'm going to talk Hollywood and Albert Einstein.
Okay.
One of Albert Einstein's best quotes was, "If you can imagine, it's the preview of what's about to come." If I quote that properly, ladies and gentlemen, if I quote that properly, so then I look at Hollywood and I look at some of these movies they put out there. You either have the most creative Steven Spielberg mindset, or what did you read, or what did you encounter, or what did somebody share with you to put that vision into Hollywood?
It sounds to me like Einstein's saying that if you can perceive it, that anything is possible. Is that what I'm getting?
Well, I think what I said is right, but even going back more on Einstein, and again, I know we have to get to a commercial break, but didn't Einstein, back was it 70s, the physics and the wormholes and how time can change? I mean, this guy was so ahead of it. Towards the end of the show, I'm going to give you my theory of what I believe of aliens.
Okay.
But you know what? That's a cliffhanger. This way, so we actually have our second guest ever coming on the show.
Yeah, if he gets here.
Well, he's here. They texted me.
Oh.
They texted me. So we're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
At Marquette Catholic High School, tradition is more than a word. It's a way of life. From championship athletics to community service, from lifelong friendships to faith-filled values, Marquette students carry a legacy of excellence. Together, we build a stronger community on the field, in the classroom, and beyond. Marquette Catholic, where tradition meets tomorrow. Visit MarquetteCatholic.org and see why Marquette is the right choice for your family.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Sure thing.
Because my largeness echoes all over the place.
Didn't mean to slam it
And
there.
that's okay, that's okay. And sure, they can hear us. I did a quick check.
They
Cool.
can?
And I seen that, so yeah. So Steve, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know that you've been very intrigued reached out on Facebook that if we cover this topic,
I'll be
you
here.
had to be here.
I wanted it in the room when you guys were talking about it just a few minutes ago. It's always an owl. Why is it always an owl?
I don't know.
See, so they can hear. See that? So they were listening. I love
That's
it.
working good.
So we're going to jump right into it because, to be honest with you, we're throwing a little twist in here by bringing you on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. Like, I am intrigued and fascinated with what you have to share. So,
Yeah.
it's your show. Go for it, kid.
It blew me away. There is video. I have it on my Facebook group page, The Madhouse, of one of our Reaper drones shooting a Hellfire missile at a glowing orb.
Oh, you shared that with me.
Yep, over the ocean, just off the Yemen coast. And the crazy thing is when a Hellfire hits anything, it is supposed to make that target what its name is, a Hellfire.
Right.
But it deflected it. So to me, whatever that thing was, didn't have the technology. Sorry, daughter night tonight. By the way. So I know, right? So anyway, it didn't have the technology to evade our laser guided systems, but it had the technology to disarm the missile. And what's crazy is that when it hit and deflected, it broke into 3 more different pieces, and it didn't hit the ocean. It floated, and then when the thing took off, so did the 3 other pieces. My question is why are we shooting a Hellfire missile at this thing? Unless we knew where it was going, because wouldn't our first instinct is to see where it goes, unless we already knew where it was going? It's crazy.
Had they followed it before they shot it?
That not for very long. They had they deployed 2 Reaper, like I said, 2 Reaper drones, and they weren't tracking it for very long. But there is, I don't know, have you heard about the movie that's coming out, Age of Disclosure?
I'm not sure.
This
You've got a clip. You sent me a clip.
Yeah. There's this.
Did I put it on there?
I don't know. I hope you did.
Now everybody has covered this. Fox News, CNN, ABC, World News.
And now Conspiracies and Mysteries.
Yes. Now here's the thing, though. A former presidential candidate, senator, and current Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is on the record saying that there are levels of our government that the president and Congress aren't even aware of. That these are people that have been in these positions for 30 years, but they see presidents and senators come and go. So why would they feel apt to tell them anything? So that our president probably doesn't legitimately know what's really going on.
That goes back to our secrecy conversation we had, Troy, about a month ago. That's why there's secret societies, because nobody knows anything about it. So if the commander-in-chief don't even know about these divisions.
Right.
Right.
And again, so how many years? So again, I know it's been going on for a long time, but I always just go back to the oldest date of 1947. And you go from 47 to today's date. I've seen that Reaper video. You've shared it with me. I've got a video that we're going to play right now. Earlier, I was talking to Troy about a guy who shot a video before he was deceased. And
I heard that.
You heard? Okay. And but what's crazy is in this video, he actually shows an old like Polaroid picture of an alien. So how do we know that that's the vision of an alien, and how do we know it's not?
Yeah, and we've talked about it in other shows. It's like,
But you're
you grew up
footage.
no, but we grew up not knowing what you hear, but now with AI, we don't know what to see and believe. But
Well,
we
now
see.
I can tell you folks something that I've seen with my own 2 eyes, and I wasn't alone on this. We're out in the Fenton area, and it was rural, clear skies, and I saw 3 or 4 what looked like really bright stars. The color was just like a star white, and I found it kind of odd. So I asked my ex-girlfriend and my buddy, I'm like, "Do you guys see that? What are they, satellites or something? What the hell is that?" And I said, all 3 of us were sitting there looking at it, one by one, and there's 3, 4, 5 of them just took off and looked like meteors. But I've never seen a meteor standing still for 5 minutes as we were looking at it before it darted across the sky. So, got me. But here's my question, or maybe make it a statement. It would only be the human race that would think that we're out there in the vast space of space. Why just us? I find it easier to believe that we're not alone than we are.
And that's good. That's what the show's about. It's about opinions. And it's tough because Troy and I, we have our own opinion. Because like I said, I'm gonna blow your guys' mind. You saw my straitjacket. After I tell you, share my straitjacket with y'all, you're like, trust is crazy. So you already answered a question I would ask you, and your answer is yes. I was going to ask you, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah. But as I say on my show all the time, hell, what do I know? After all, I'm just a madman.
So let me play that one video
Okay.
that I'm speaking of, because my frustration with that video is, I'm trying to find it real fast. No, that's not it. Come on. Okay, here we go. So I'm about to play this, and you're going to tell me, with all the technology, even up there, that this is the best video we can get for the topic. Here we go.
Right there, now there's two objects. The pilot, you'll see, he's magnified because he's like, what in the heck is going on?
So what you're doing
When I
is
looked
you're
at
seeing
it
this
frame by
object,
frame,
and
to me,
they're
it
gonna
was
blow
crazy.
this up as much as
It
they
was
can.
clear to me
They see this
that
object
there was not another
hitting the
object
water
that came out of the
at
water.
a very
I thought
fast
this
rate of
object
speed,
had
but when
simply
it comes
split
out,
in half
you'll
and
see it
became
split
two
into
objects.
two.
That's
That's
what
what
really
we're looking
made
at right
that
there. So
video
I don't know why the
so
video is
anomalous.
not conversing, and I
But
apologize. So
I have
I'm
no
talking
explanation
over
for it.
you.
That's just what the data
But
showed.
there's a guy in his interview was very unbiased. He goes, I can only look at the science. I can only look at the facts. Here's what I'm witnessing. And he said it was the most unexplainable video he's ever witnessed. So it kind of goes what you were talking about with your hellfire there.
And I saw on I forget this podcaster, but he only interviews people with extraordinary conspiracy theory type of stories. And on this particular one, he's a quantum physicist that was working for the government that says, why is which kind of connects with your story here, why is Area 51 such a hot spot? Well, because he went on to say that in the 50s is when we shot off the atom bomb, and that it gave off some kind of longitude, whatever, like an EMP. So it disrupted their technology, and that's when it became a hotspot. So Marco Rubio, as I was referred to earlier, goes on saying that they have activated and deactivated our nuclear warheads. They have disturbed our defense systems.
Yeah.
And so
How you can't shoot it out of the sky, but it's been documented.
Yeah.
They have shut off nuclear.
right.
Hey,
And going back, I'm sorry.
No, I was just, we don't have that video because he sent me some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
This is
I got my computer.
This is a little long here, but I want to play just a little audio clip
Okay.
that he had sent over. Let's see if I can
Put in your microphone.
Tonight, we get a first look at a new documentary on UAPs and what government officials may know about top secret programs
Fox
on the
News.
subject. It features testimony from 34 high-ranking government officials. My colleague Brett Baer speaks with the director and producer of The Age of Disclosure.
We've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours. They have both deactivated and activated nuclear weapons with both the United States and Russia. These are otherworldly things that are performing maneuvers that haven't been seen. The UAP activity surrounding nuclear weapons is not a historic issue. It's an ongoing issue. But join us now to talk about his new film, The Age of Disclosure.
That's what he was just talking about. And I did get those.
Did you get
Remember
them?
I was saying earlier I was only audio, so I didn't know if you wanted me to put that on.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's my error there.
Now there is the scariest bit that I have is in the first one I have on my group page, is you have high military ranking officials on Capitol Hill. Each one was asked, does this video scare you? And each one down the line said yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I think he
That's
sent it to me.
spooky.
Let me throw a twist here if I can. When we talk about Area 51, again, I'd like to believe that a lot of people, the government wants to tell you that's where we're testing our spy planes and doing our different things. And then a lot of people who are in the rabbit hole conspiracy of there's aliens. The thing that intrigued me most, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, again, I can't tell you if it's the truth or not, but they keep digging below Area 51 to where, I don't know if, and I'm going off topic here, but have you ever heard about Disney World? When you go to Disney World, they have this whole underground.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. I remember
Right.
that. Yeah.
So the actors and the employees, they go down below. If there's going to be a fight, whenever you come above ground, you're game face. It's Disney World time, right? Well, Area 51, they say, has a transport route from different stations to stations, and that's actually where they kept J-Rod. So some of the topics, if you guys want to do your homework and do your due diligence, are like, how are they digging without the satellites not picking up? When you're digging, where are you putting that dirt?
Right.
You know, so they're saying they're moving this dirt, they're dropping a couple chemicals on it, it's dissolving.
Who's controlling the satellites?
Well, true that. That's what I'm saying. So they're not going to tell us the truth. So how do we know?
And why tell us now? Why come out with all of the information and being more like Marco Rubio, who 5-10 years ago wouldn't be caught dead saying? And I caught you guys also wanted to comment on about talking. You were saying about they could lose their if they'd be being a whistleblower. Sure. If they could. There was one of I think he was Secret Service or he was something, and he was asked, do you know anybody who was threatened with their life if they said anything? He said, personally, yes, I know somebody that has lost their life for saying something. Not just their jobs, not just they'll come and make it disappear.
Well, they said Congress was supposed to pass something that protected whistleblowers. To what level?
Yeah.
It always reminds me of your subway story about the guy who built the hydrogen motor. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
If the government can't get their cut.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I also heard this. You ever watch the Y-Files? He's got some. If you like conspiracy theories, with the stupid goldfish, if you can get past the goldfish, he's got some very interesting stories, and he does his research. He debunks. He's not one of the conspiracy theory. Everything's is. He puts his homework into it, and he'll debunk ones that aren't debunked. But he says that I forget where it was, somewhere in Nevada, I want to say, that there is a facility that is 4 layers deep, and that the first layer is where American official or human officials are. The middle layer is where it's the co-op. So whoever they are and humans are co-oping, and in exchange we're getting technology. And on the 3rd floor is them and only them. We're not allowed. So think about it. Kind of makes sense. Area 51 pops up in the 50s. Think about technological advancement from day one of humans to the 50s, where it was just...
Yeah, we talked about that. How much have we advanced in the last 70 years opposed to civilization?
I think I read a bit where Eisenhower actually made a deal with them in exchange for technology. We could be used as kind of guinea pigs.
I'm trying to think. There was a different name, not J-Rod, but it was actually supposed to be that a ship landed in Washington, demanded to see the president. They wanted this story into him, saying, "Hey, I see the future, and you're in trouble, and we need to do something about it."
They even have pictures of him at the inauguration, or what was this? The second? No, or where was it? It was something. It was some kind of official gathering where it was outside on the White House front lawn, and this is supposed to be this guy that's actually an alien.
Yeah.
There was also I saw where one of these alien crafts or whatever you want to call this ball of light had actually descended on a holy spot in Jerusalem. Did you see that?
I haven't seen this one.
It was bizarre, and I thought, man, I mean, it makes you wonder what they're preparing us for. Is it a timed thing? Is it supposed to go in sync with some kind of a time? We can't do it before this time. I mean, is that why we're getting this Rubio coming forth with this information now?
It goes back to Hollywood. I mean, I just think of that Will Smith movie where you're just walking down the street on a normal day, and here comes these things from underground, and just completely take over. Now, again, guys, I'm going Hollywood on you. Trust isn't crazy yet. When I come up with my theory, then you can call me crazy. Yeah.
I mean, it's things. I don't know what happened in 2020, but it seems like from then to here, the world, it's always been crazy. I drove a cab for 17 years, so you can imagine I've seen crazy. In the last 5 years, what are we actually going through right now? Why? What is it a rewrite of history? Is it I don't know. But there's definitely, I mean, do you guys feel it, or is it just me? It feels like something is going on.
I think we feel that in every step of our lives. I mean, I remember back when we worked at Roberts, of course, I've listened to Art Bell since, I don't know, probably the mid-'90s. But he was saying bizarre things then. Like, I think in the next couple of years, you're going to see aliens come down and it's not going to be a big thing. And the way you're going to know it is you're going to see these brilliant, colorful lights in the skies and stuff, and that's the signal that they're coming. I was believing all of it. You know,
which we do have those beautiful lights. We do.
St. Louis has wild monkeys running around, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch that?
What's that?
St. Louis has got wild monkeys running around, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
what? They're making funny photos with them drinking 40 ounces.
Yeah, I've seen that. Let me ask you this. Since you're a guest, and Troy and I always go back and forth, so let me ask you this. On a similar topic, as a citizen of the United States, do you feel deceit that you don't feel like the government is telling you factual data?
Well, considering that we the people are supposed to be
Love
the government.
that. We the people. I talk about that all the time.
We are the government. We're the ones who make decisions through voting. How can we make an educated and informed vote if we're being lied to constantly? Me personally, I'd fire everybody up there.
So I love my country, but can't stand my government. What you were about to say?
Yes, because they have, like any other government, any other body of power through human civilization that gains too much power, which is the people's fault for giving them, that it becomes corrupted, which it has.
So I'm going to share a couple things with you guys. You know, I'm a baseball coach. I travel all the time. I'm going to bring up a couple sites that I've seen that now that we're on the topic, it makes me very curious. So you guys know I have a car lot, so I buy cars all over the country. Well, Kansas City is close enough for me to drive. It's about 4 hours away. I can't remember the city that I go to. But off the highway, and let me tell you the other location because they're going to be the same thing, okay? Has anybody been to the Kentucky Derby? Anybody?
Kentucky,
Okay.
yeah.
No.
So if you live in Kentucky, I'm talking to you right now, there is, I think it's a zoo. So on ground level, it's a zoo. But as a family, we always try to go to different places over the weekend when the baseball's not playing. There's this cave, and when you walk into this cave, it's very commercialized. It's got like the not bungee jumping, but the rope climbs and the different things. It's very commercialized. Well, my family and I, we rented bikes. They give you the helmet with the headlight on it, and you get to ride around the cave. And this cave just keeps on going and going. But here's my curiosity. This cave was so enormous when I was on the inside, I saw commercial, like semi-sized truck, pods. I saw big commercial vehicles. So when we talk about these caves and we talk about Area 51, when you go by this auction, I'm talking about Kansas City, you could see these monster entrances that things can be put in there. So folks, I don't think we're too far-fetched. And truly, I hope somebody who lives in Kentucky knows what I'm talking about, because I'm going to show it to you guys. I looked at it as a commercial spectator. I thought it was really cool. We had a really good time. But then I kept wondering, where does that road go to? So you're in a cave, you know, when you go into the unprohibited area, you're not supposed to over here at the Piasaw thing, it's rock. It's loose gravel, right?
Mm-hmm.
These were concrete roads. So what are you doing when you spend that kind of money? What's in there?
You know, I've often said I think we're looking in the wrong direction for answers when we're looking at the skies. I think we need to be looking at what's below our feet.
Yeah, that's a topic I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the good Lord hiding from us when He allows us in space, but we haven't even developed the technology yet to get to the bottom of the ocean without crushing us.
That's interesting. I mean, I've seen probably more plausible UFO sightings or whatever going in and out of the ocean than I have in the sky. You know, I remember years ago hearing that you don't see UFO activity in deep space, which you think, okay, where are they coming from? Well, you know, we still don't know what's going on in the ocean to a large degree. We have no idea.
Yeah, we've only covered, they say 5%.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unknown.
There is
uncharted territory.
Yeah.
There is a group of conspiracy theorists that, and the Wi-Fi covers this as well, that is believed that there are voids in the around the core of the Earth and in the deep underground, to where we think that aliens are coming from the sky, but it's actually in these voids. It can have life, and it is just a whole different race of us possibly, and they're coming up from there.
Would that be because, I mean, if that's true, would that help explain why we see on these alien encounters, you've got like a manted type of alien, and then you'll have a taller gray and a red, and these different types of aliens?
Well, again, I'm going to refer back to the Wi-Fi's, is that there is not just one race of alien that is dealing with our government. He calls them the Greys. That's the ones that we know. You know, the little alien ones that communicate telepathically. There's the lizard people, and we've all heard about those. I don't know if I'm a believer on that one. And then there was another race. I'm drawing a blank on it.
Insect. So now I don't
like a
feel
mantis.
so now I don't really feel like my straight jacket is unlegit because you just brought it up. They talk about the population, and again, here's where I butcher things, of an insect type organism, and the Indians had a name for it and had predicted this through tribal on commercial. I'm gonna try to look this up, but I don't feel so crazy now with my straight jacket.
There's another story that came out of Arizona. It was a military guy that back in the, I want to say 50s or 60s, that had he was a radio tower watcher guy, and he relieved another dude of his post, and he was going to take the post, and he was told, do not go out at night ever. Don't go out at night. Why? Just don't. So whatever, he decides to go out at night anyway, and meets this woman that was like glowing, but he helps her. So then they come back and knock on his door a couple of nights. If I don't get this story right, it's going up solely on memory. But he ends up enlightening him. He becomes, he sees things that he didn't, it was almost like a dream. And then he heard a voice, this is for helping her. And normally, according to others that have ventured outside at night, well, they didn't make it. And the military covered that up. But this is on a military installation property, so it's all linked. It seems to be all linked to the military. So my question is why would our initial response when we see something like that, if it's the first time we saw it, you'd want to know where it goes, right? Not shoot a missile at it and start who knows who his friends are, unless they already know.
Well, so you can't keep up with some of the speed. That whole reverse engineering you were talking about in the first part of the show, Troy, they talk about propulsion on how some of these objects move. It's not even in our science. It's not even in our engineering that we can figure that out. So when you say follow it, sometimes how can you really follow it? What if it does disappear into the ocean? We don't have nothing.
But you're still risking.
And follow it.
But the risks of shooting this craft down, we've all seen Independence Day. You know what I'm saying?
We're going Hollywood there.
Yeah,
you're right.
True. But we don't. But if they are from a different planet and they got the technology to get here, I'm sure their weaponry is far more advanced than ours.
Well, time is flying by way faster than I thought, Troy.
Yeah, it is.
I know we got to get to a commercial break. So here's what I want to do while we got Steve. Then we'll go to so we'll just do like a brief on what I'm about to ask each one of you.
Sure.
And then we'll go to a commercial break. So we've had some pretty good conversations about Area 51, UFO, and aliens. Do you have a belief that you could share with the people right now what you think about this conversation?
I think it's one that, as we the people, need to be talking more and not in the realm of conspiracy theory anymore. We need to be talking about this is very probable. Now we're at a point where it's more possible than impossible. So if it is possible and our government does know, what do they know, and we need to know it now?
Well, okay, so, hey guys, last week Troy brought up something very, very good. A lot of times I tell you the show's based on entertainment. Our design here is we want this to be a thinking man show. Thinking man, thinking woman. So you just heard me ask Steve, I'm going to ask Troy, but now I'm asking you. And you can engage with us right here on this Facebook feed, or if you don't want your name to be exposed because they think you belong in a straitjacket like Trust has one, we want to hear from you. And I love everything you said, because I'm not even going to say what I had to say, because you were the best way I think possible, other than one thing. If the government doesn't give us factual data, how do we move forward? So Troy, because I know we got to go to a commercial break, and listen, Troy, I got that body language. If you want to go in the Troy mode, permission. Let's go, kid. What are you thinking?
Well, what I'm thinking is, while you guys were talking, I'm thinking, sometimes we don't know what's good for us, okay? And I think the government thinks that too. We have government for control. Okay, that is, everything is control. I mean, sometimes when I watch people talk, I think they're trying to control my thinking, and but it's all about control, isn't it? I mean, this whole thing is about control,
absolutely.
Right? Think about it for a minute. What would happen if everything that we're talking about was laid in front of us, and we had an Independence Day type of a thing where the aliens are here? I want you to think about the powers that be that have tried to control us for all these years. What kind of a power shift that would be? The first thing that comes to mind would be religious people. Okay, they would. A lot of people would walk away from religion. Okay, think about the Catholic Church. Okay, and some of these other religions, they would fall away from it. Okay, I don't know if these powers that have been around for years are willing to let go of that. And I'm talking about governments. I'm talking about churches. I'm talking about, even maybe down to the Masons, things like that. But it would be a huge shift. And I don't know if these entities or these institutions are ready for that. Now we talk about, why was it shot down? Maybe our government is in the business of trying to shoot these things down so they don't manifest to the population. I'm just wondering what would happen. I think there would be chaos in the streets. I'm thinking everything would be upended, and we would have to start the learning all over again on what was real. But I can tell you one thing: if that day happened, we can kiss a lot of these institutions goodbye that are trying to control our minds.
Troy must have been in my head because on the other side of the commercial break, I wanted to ask you guys a question.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and hit that commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vents.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
At Landmark Realty, we're proud to serve the Riverbend area with offices in Godfrey and Jerseyville. Whether you're buying your first home or your forever home, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. And if you're ready to start your dream business, we can help you find the perfect commercial property. Visit us today at godfreylandmark.com. Landmark Realty, serving the Riverbend and serving you.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working around the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I didn't say nothing, sir.
Okay.
I didn't say nothing. Hey, so right before we went to a commercial break, I love what Troy was touching base on about control and about power. That's kind of what we were saying early in the show, that, I'm going to give you guys a terrible analogy, okay? I want to pick on you a little bit since you're the guest.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about your ex-girlfriend.
Sure.
All right. So let's say this is going to be terrible. Don't punch me. I'm out of arm's reach.
It's fine.
All
It's
right.
fine.
So you're with your ex-girlfriend, and when you met her, you had an affair with her, but she was married.
Okay.
Okay. So now you guys are living together, and today's technology, we're calling each other, we're communicating, right? You're real buddies with the neighbor, but you're texting her, and she's not always responding. So what happens when someone doesn't respond? What does our mind do?
It draws its own conclusions.
You start going to rabbit holes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about, this whole thing with Area 51 and the UFOs and the aliens. We're not getting that information, and the longer it's withheld, there's these conspiracies. And
Well, I personally think that's what they want.
I told you it was a terrible analogy, but I had to get some of you to understand. You know what I'm talking about.
You know, I was just thinking, not just tonight, but I got thinking about this whole get up with the show and stuff, and I got thinking, you know, there wouldn't be a need for this type of a show, or even the word conspiracy, if people just told the truth about things.
And what did I tell you my favorite thing is?
Whistleblowers.
Whistleblowers! And I'm telling you, they passed a policy. Now, whether it's just paper or not, but there's an act to protect you if you want to come forward. But again, to what level?
They passed a policy, but can they pass a polygraph on that?
Probably not.
Yeah.
And how exactly are they? How is letters of the law going to protect the people anyway? With when it is our government or subsections of that are sending trained assassins to get these people.
Well, Troy, I like what you talked about power. So again, I brought up earlier, Area 51 is for United States. But again, Argentina, Chile, Russia, there's so many other places that are doing this, and it's a race. It's a race. And so normally you'd want to collab. Hey, can we collab? We don't want the end of the world by pushing a button. We need to work together. Well, nobody wants to work together because they want to win that race.
I think sometimes they're going to have to realize that, you know, they have very little power over us. If something came down the pike, like what we're talking about, there wouldn't be, I mean, it would be all out war, man. I mean, people would just not believe in our institutions, and they don't hardly have any power over us anyway, like they think they do.
You need to start watching the movies that I talked to you about, because you just nailed what I said. So something similar like this happened, and only the rich prevailed, and you lived in the streets at a poverty level, and unless you were valuable to the king or the president at that time, you were no worth, and it was survival. You know, really. And so, again, here I go back to my Hollywood, how people are visioning this. So again, I'm not trying to scare anybody when something's about to come. Now, Troy, we're short on time, but I had something saved over here. Do you want to talk about the tracking, or did you just want to keep going on with the podcast?
When you say tracking, what are you talking about? Just go ahead and show it.
A picture of your hairy leg.
No, wait a minute. Okay.
There.
Yeah, there's my hairy leg there.
Yeah, so...
sexy.
No, but here's what's interesting about that, okay?
That picture?
I hesitated about even showing it because I know that a lot of these people contend that they are tagged, if you will, so these aliens have an ongoing encounter with you throughout your life, okay? And one of these things is having a scoop mark on your leg or in your arm. And I swear for the life of me, I don't know where that came from. I've had it since like the mid-'70s, and I do not know where it came from.
Okay, so we might not know where that came from, but I actually do. Listen, I kind of believe that, right? And I'll tell you why. What do we do with dolphins? Don't we track them? Don't we do a lot of tracking?
I don't know where that came from. That scar right there on my hand.
So we do a lot of different species ourselves as humans. How do you know we're not the lab rats? Right?
Oh, we are the lab
rats. I gotta
rats.
show this picture just before the show ends, because sometimes you guys think I'm off my rocker. So I went ahead and got one custom fit for me, just in case. Okay, just in case. Y'all need to admit trust. I got one that fits my 315-pound body. I think that was J-Rod doing a photobomb in the background over there.
I did want to present not only you two guys before we cut out of here, but your listeners a question.
Okay.
Do you feel that it is more dangerous that the people know about this kind of stuff if it's real, or do you think it's more dangerous that the government's withholding it from us?
You know, I got to be honest with you. I don't spend much time dwelling on this sort of thing to begin with. I was interested as a young man, particularly like the cattle mutilations. I thought was interesting, but I'm just not. You know, I just kind of passed it. I think we see it. We're bombarded with what ifs about UFOs all the time. Mm-hmm. It just becomes like small print wallpaper after a while. You see it, but you don't really see it. You know, it's not elusive or exciting anymore. You know, and maybe that's why.
Different theories.
Maybe maybe they are prepping us for the day. You know, but
or are they distracting us from something else?
They're always distracting us.
That goes back to when we talked about 9/11.
Yeah. They throw out something we're going to bite on while they're getting by with this other crap. Yeah.
So to answer your question, I love what you said. I spent 6 years in high school, not being proud, but I did graduate my freshman class. What's up? But one thing that I do remember about school is I really thrive on we the people. Mm-hmm. But I don't really feel that anymore because Troy, you brought it up earlier, other people. If you know something, you don't want to bring it up because you're in fear of losing your job and your insurance and what have you. So
Plato's cave.
Yeah, so I don't knock the people who don't come forward because, here, that's what I said earlier. When I grew up, you had upper class, middle class, and broke. I don't think there's middle class anymore. We're surviving. You either have it or you're surviving.
Right.
So I don't necessarily know where I'm going with that topic, but the reality is this, like Troy said, how can you dive so much into a topic that's been so overplayed and we're not getting any factual data? And the question that I ask the people, again, this is a thinking person show. How in the heck? Now, I know high security clearances, when you walk in, you drop your cell phone, they got the laser razor stuff, but you're going to tell me with today's technology, like meta glasses that we experimented with last week, you're going to tell me we don't really have any footage or from any whistleblowers who have worked at the facility for 20 years and have come forward like that. So why are we still living on the same pictures?
It's like Bigfoot. Bigfoot, same thing. It's like so many, and the Loch Ness one, Loch Ness Monster. We have so many sightings, but not one clear cut high with iPhones in everybody's hands. One clear cut video. Why is that?
Well, I guess if we had all this, we wouldn't have a show.
If people just told the truth, we wouldn't have the word conspiracy.
Right.
Do you know where the term conspiracy theory came from?
No,
conspiracy
but I bet
theorists.
you're gonna tell us.
The CIA back in the day, when a whistleblower would blow the identity of an agent, a spy, that they would. So if I'm a spy, you say I'm a spy, the CIA would come in and say you're a conspiracy theorist.
Not to get into another subject, but it seems to me that there's labels for people that go think certain ways, and they're just right there. The minute you go into something, you're this, and that's another reason why people don't want to talk. What's that?
That's back in the witchcraft days. Once you were deemed a witch, you were labeled, and I know it's a totally different topic, but we've been labeled our entire lives.
How many mistresses do you think got hung in Salem, Massachusetts? You know what I'm saying?
So definitely something to think about, our listeners, our viewers. So again, we love the fact that if you're watching us, like I said, we're getting great Facebook engagement, but truly we want to hear from you. What other topics do you want to talk about? Or the current topic that we spoke about, what's your theories? I mean, don't just listen to us. We want to hear from you, and we love having Steve on the show today.
Thank you.
Because it's we the people. So we need to unite, and going back to, I think it was 2013 when they actually confirmed. So everybody knew about Area 51, right, since the early 50s.
Yeah.
But why was it until 2013 we got confirmation? Well, that's because we the people
demanded it. But it took how long to get that confirmation? Yeah. Enough legit reporters to be asking the right questions. That's with so much corruption in the media. That's another thing. But there's still a lot of good reporters out there.
But it goes back to what Troy said also. Is the government protecting us?
Or themselves.
For our own good, yeah.
Yeah, for our own good. And sometimes we could look at it from fear. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is when you have these other countries that are experimenting with the same technology, do you really want that out there? If we already feel that we're getting spied from China on TikTok and we're getting spied on all these other things, well, if the government were to speak up, now I'm not sticking up for the government, but if they were to speak up, well, now you're giving these other countries foreknowledge to help them with their studies. We don't know how far they are. They don't know how far we are. And I think that's why a lot of times when you brought up earlier in the show, I'm kind of glad you brought that up. It's to protect the Department of Defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts out that way, but like he said, I think eventually power corrupts.
And so are they protecting us or themselves?
And I think we've heard aliens for so long now. We're so desensitized to it. We don't know what to believe, what we see, what we hear. Maybe when the day does come, maybe it won't upend everything. Maybe it's like, well, we knew all along.
Yeah, well, we got less than a minute, and then Troy just brought up something cool. Troy, we don't want to overanalyze these topics, right? So I know Troy's got something very interesting about COVID. We're going to talk about COVID maybe the next episode. But listen, before they turn us off, we really want to thank you for tuning in. Steve, we thank you for
thanks.
joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
And Troy, you think about that.